Have you ever been so obsessed with something that it feels like you're living in it? For me, that something was zombie movies. Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later, Train to Busan. You name it, I've seen it. I spent countless hours dissecting survival strategies, debating the merits of a machete versus a baseball bat, and mapping out escape routes from my school. My friends thought I was weird. My parents were convinced it was just a phase. They'd say, "Frank, it's not real, go do your homework." If only they knew. It all started on a Tuesday, a ridiculously normal Tuesday. The sky was that boring, washed-out gray, and the school day was dragging on like a zombie with a limp. I was staring out the window during history class, daydreaming about a Romero-style apocalypse when the first siren wailed, then another and another. It was a strange, discordant symphony that made the hairs on my arms stand up. Mr. Harrison, our history teacher, tried to calm us down, but you could see the uncertainty in his eyes. That's when we got the lockdown alert. Not a drill. The real thing. We were herded into the gymnasium, the whole school packed together like sardines. Whispers turned into panicked chatter. People were glued to their phones, their faces illuminated by the grim glow of news feeds. Strange reports, riots, bizarre attacks, people biting other people. My heart wasn't pounding with fear, not at first. It was thrumming with a bizarre electric excitement. This was it, the moment I had unknowingly been training for my whole life. My movie obsession wasn't a waste of time, it was my survival guide. While everyone else was panicking, my mind went into overdrive. I started cataloging everything. The gymnasium had high, barred windows. Good. Multiple exits, but they'd be bottlenecks. Bad. The sports equipment closet, a potential armory. Lacrosse sticks, baseball bats, even a shot put. Not a shotgun, but it's a start. I saw the fear in my classmates' eyes. I saw them looking for answers for someone who wasn't falling apart. Suddenly, I wasn't just Frank, the weird zombie kid. I was the guy with a plan. The first real test came when the power went out. The emergency lights flickered on, casting long, eerie shadows across the gym. A collective gasp, followed by a few screams. That's when the banging started. A heavy, rhythmic thud against the main doors. It wasn't the sound of someone knocking. It was the sound of something trying to get in, something mindless and persistent. I looked at Sarah, the girl I'd had a crush on since 3rd grade. She was terrified. I walked over to her. "It's going to be okay," I said, my voice steadier than I expected. "We just need to be smart." I gathered a small group. My best friend Leo, who always had my back, even when he made fun of my movie marathons. A few athletes I knew from gym class, and Sarah. "Listen," I said, keeping my voice low. "Those doors won't hold forever. We need to barricade them. Now." We started dragging bleachers, wrestling mats, anything heavy. It was like a scene straight out of one of my movies, but the sweat was real, the splinters were real, and the guttural groans from outside were chillingly, horrifyingly real. We worked in a strange, focused silence. We were no longer jocks, nerds, or preps. We were just survivors. For the first time, I felt a sense of purpose that had nothing to do with passing a math test. We secured the main entrance, but we knew it was a temporary fix. We were trapped. A school full of teenagers, a handful of teachers, and a world outside that had turned into our worst nightmare. The sun began to set, painting the barred windows in shades of orange and blood red. Night was coming, and in every zombie movie, night is when things get really bad. We found a working emergency radio in the principal's office. The broadcasts were fragmented, chaotic. Military jargon, panicked civilian calls, and long stretches of static, but we pieced it together. It wasn't just our town, it was everywhere. A virus, they said. Fast-acting, aggressive, no cure. The world I knew, the world of homework and video games and worrying about what to wear to school, had ended sometime between first period and lunch. A new world had taken its place, and the rules were simple. Stay quiet, stay smart, and stay alive. My useless knowledge was suddenly the most valuable currency we had. I explained the basics. They're drawn to sound. We have to be quiet. Aim for the head. That's the only way to stop them. We need to find supplies, food from the cafeteria, first aid from the nurse's office. And we need a long-term plan to get out of here. People were looking at me, listening. They weren't just the faces I passed in the hallway anymore. They were my group, my responsibility. The weight of it was heavier than any shot put. That first night was the longest of my life. Every creak of the building, every distant scream, every groan from outside the barricade sent a fresh wave of ice through my veins. The excitement was gone, replaced by a cold, hard reality. This wasn't a movie. There were no reshoots, no stunt doubles, just us. A bunch of kids, led by a boy who loved zombie movies a little too much. But as I looked around at the sleeping, frightened faces in the dim light of the gymnasium, I knew one thing for sure. I would get us through this. My obsession had become our hope. The movie was real now, and I was going to make sure we saw the end credits. Thanks for watching, and if you're out there, stay safe.